Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to the movie review, aka After I Saw This Time, and it's going to be on Iron Lung. This movie is directed by big, longtime YouTuber Markiplier, who is one of the biggest gaming YouTubers ever with over 38 million subscribers. So, of course, you know, his dedication to gaming would turn into dedication to making film, as he made this film dedicated to the game that it's based off of. And this movie stars Markiplier as a man trapped in a submarine wanting to escape what is going on in the submarine that is called the Iron Lung, where a mysterious creature is lurking in the deep. And he has to take photographs and try to uncover stuff that goes on throughout the film and hope that this creature does not come to him. And yeah, like I mentioned before, this is based off a video game, and unlike most video game adaptations where I've heard of the game, I never heard of the Iron Lung video game. In fact, I didn't know this movie was coming out until a friend mentioned it to me and was all like, hey, you want to see this movie together when it comes out? I was all like, sure, never heard of it, but yeah, I was not aware about what Iron Lung was. I did not see a trailer, I did not see clips from the movie, and again, I didn't know it was based off a video game. I didn't even know Markiplier was making it. So I had absolutely no idea what this movie was about. Though the poster almost kind of reminds me a little bit of The Relic a little bit, if you remember that film. Well, in case you don't, it's this movie. Yeah, that's kind of what it reminded me of. Now, I haven't watched a whole lot of Markiplier's content. I just know he's a very big-named YouTuber, dedicated his life to gaming, like other big-named YouTubers like Jacksepticeye and whatnot. And knowing the fact that he wanted to make a movie based off a video game and wanted to make it fully faithful to that, the fact that this is his passion project, I fully respect that. So I will say, Markiplier, I 100% support you on this project, and it's actually doing pretty well right now in terms of audiences. They are glazing all over this movie, saying how good it is compared to the game, how it compares to the game and all that. The fact that Markiplier, you know, has done such a good job in the movie. So it's clear that this was made for fans of Markiplier and people who have played the game. So it definitely did its job on that standpoint, and again, I fully support when a YouTuber wants to make a passion project and put it out to the big screen. Chris Stuckman did that, so now Markiplier's doing that, so I am fully on board with him making this film. I fully support it, and I do want to see him grow as a filmmaker if he does want to end up making more game-based movies and whatnot, or movies in general, because it's clear that, you know, he did put some hard work into this, so I fully support him. With that being said, this movie was not for me. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't mean to piss all over everybody's parade here, but I wasn't really that big of a fan of it. Now, when I saw this movie with my friends, I did not like it at all. I did not understand what was going on. For me, it was just 2 hours of a guy being locked in one area trying to escape it, and to me, I didn't really understand what was going on. But again, I never played the game, and afterwards, I did look a little bit more into the game and what it's supposed to be about. Because again, he did state that he wanted to make it faithful to the game, so after looking at clips of the game in this movie, yeah, I can give it credit to him for doing that, because there have been video game movie adaptations that have been trying to be a bit more faithful. Return to Silent Hill wanted to do that, and it did not work out so well. But I will say this, I do think it is better than that movie. Like, in terms of what he is trying to go for with this film, like, for one thing, it looks really well done. The set design is excellent. The costume he has on, it looks really good. And while he does try his best with his performance, it wasn't really anything super special, but given how this is his first time, like, being in a film in general, and the fact that, you know, he's gotten actors like Troy Baker, who I honestly would have liked if he made him the main star. Or I don't know, he's been in so many big name games, so I guess it kind of makes sense for him to be playing the main character and all. But it's nice that he got people like Troy Baker in the movie. I was all like, oh my god, Troy Baker's in this. So it's nice to know he can get other familiar actors into this film. So yeah, it's clear that so many people went into this project, but With all that being said, in terms of how the movie plays out, because I wasn't like fully familiar with how the game was about, when I looked into the game, I was all like, okay, I feel like I would have liked this movie more if I just played the game, because for 2 hours, this is a 2 hour long movie, and it's mostly dedicated to this man trying to escape the Iron Lung while also looking at photographs of the creature throughout the film and just trying to, push buttons while the walls bleed. And to me, I didn't really get that. I didn't really understand that full point of the film until, of course, more exposition gets thrown out once in a while, which I would have liked it more have they just showed a lot more rather than told, because in terms of character interactions, he does talk with other people through like a radio, and oftentimes he's arguing with the person on the radio rather than just having full character interactions, because it's just him in the movie, which I do respect, but I would have liked if there was someone else on board, or I don't know, but that wasn't in the game, so I can't really complain too much about that. But that's my main issue with this movie, is that it is 2 hours long, and oftentimes it just goes way too slow. And if the movie was just like an hour and 30 minutes, then it would have been just fine. Or maybe an hour and 20, because one thing about the Mario movie, now I'm not comparing this to other video game adaptations, but the thing with the Mario movie, the new one, is that film felt way too short. That film felt like it went by way too fast, and there were plenty of opportunities to expand it more. But hey, we do got the Mario Galaxy movie, so I don't really have too much to complain about there since we're getting that. I just hope it's not as quick, but yeah. But that's beside the point. There are times in this movie where it just did not need to be 2 hours long, because it just mostly feels like, they're trying to, lengthen it out a little bit, when oftentimes it doesn't feel like there's too much going on. Because again, it is focused on one specific area, but it makes sense because he has nowhere else to go. He's trapped in a submarine, with a creature lurking around. But do not expect this to be like a creature feature. There isn't any major deaths that happen. And it isn't particularly scary. It is more on the lines of psychological. But oftentimes when it does try to be scary, it didn't really work all that much for me. In terms of, all this blood that's going on, I don't really find that particularly scary. But I do respect Markiplier for giving it more atmosphere. So, again, there are times where I can respect it for what it was trying to do. But as I was watching the movie, I could understand why, this was mostly made more as, it would work in a game rather than a full-length feature film. Because there are some games that definitely feel like they play better as games rather than movies. But with all that being said, I do respect the fact that, for a movie made by a YouTuber, it does look really good, and if what he was going for was to make it fully, faithful to the game, because that's one of the biggest things that people have been saying, oh, it's so good because it's faithful to the game and all that. So if it worked for them on that, then okay. But again, I never played the game. Would I like to play the game? Maybe after seeing this movie, but again, I got so many other games. But I'm just worried how people are going to feel, because there are dedicated fans to Markiplier, and I do not hate Markiplier. I fully respect him. It's just when it comes to this movie, it didn't really do a whole lot for me. And in the end, Iron Lung, I won't lie, it did get a little bit better as I thought about it, but not by a whole lot. This isn't really a film that I see myself wanting to watch again. I feel like oftentimes it just didn't do much for me, because the fact that it's 2 hours of one guy in a specific room, and oftentimes it just feels like it just goes on way too much, especially with how often, it tells its story through dialogue rather than fully showing. I mean, it does show its story from, a visual standpoint once in a while, but people are probably going to say that was in the game and all that, but that's fine. That is fine, but for me, I just didn't really feel like it fully worked as an overall film, in my opinion. So there is some good, there is some bad, but it still wasn't for me in the end. Now, this is the part where I usually rate the movie. So here's the thing. On the one hand, I don't want the Markiplier fan base to attack me for what rating I give it, but at the same time, I don't want to be dishonest with my rating. So I've been thinking hard about it on what exactly my rating should be because there is some good, but there is some bad. Uh, so what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna rate this movie. I know that's weird that I'm not gonna rate this movie, but I don't know. Maybe if I played the game, I might like it a little bit more. Like I've been thinking about it really hard. That's why I've been delaying this video. That's why, I've just been slacking off on this because you saw in my last monthly vlog, I said how I probably wasn't going to review this movie just because I don't want the Markiplier fans attacking me because it's clear that, they've been loving this movie, but it was just hard for me to get into. So if I were to rate it, it might be a 2 out of 5. Hey. IGN gave it a 4 out of 10, which is like a 2 out of 5. So don't treat me like IGN. I'm just saying, okay? It just wasn't for me, okay? Just, again, I do respect it. Okay. So, but again, I can't really confirm if I would give it that rating. So it's just going to have to, cook with me a lot. Because there's a part of me that where I really want to enjoy it, but at the same time, I just couldn't. So maybe if I watched it again, I don't know. But let me know in the comments. Were you a fan of it? Were you not? But again, I do congratulate on getting this movie out. So I fully respect him, and I do respect the film, even though I can't really say I liked it. I do respect it. So that's the best I can give you. It's like I didn't even rate this movie on Letterboxd because of how hard it was for me to know exactly what I wanted to give this movie. So yeah, but as it stands right now, I just wasn't a fan. But yeah, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and maybe subscribe for more. You could also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or maybe Blue Sky. Links are in the description. And I'll see you guys later. Word out.